Saturday Night Live has produced some real head-scratchers. Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 weirdest SNL sketches. That means we're looking at sketches with inexplicable and outlandish concepts, many of which were met with awkward silence, polite laughter, and/or a hostile online reaction. All right, let's get to the list.
Do you remember the Avatar logo?
Yeah, it was tribal yet futuristic.
Papyrus!
Number 10. Sloths. The Lonely Island is one of SNL's most consistent outputs, but they're certainly not without their eccentricities. Such is the case with the bizarre Sloth sketch, which took the guise of an educational video made by the Staten Island Technical High School in conjunction with the Staten Island Zoo. The video is a total oral onslaught, complete with chants of sloths, 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 and hilariously bizarre lyrics like
got 3 toes, bubble pop, 3,000 Bud Light. Break your nose and kick your face in a punch fight.
Sloths are funny, we get that. Pretending they're actually hardcore party animals is even funnier, even if it is a bit weird. Number 9. Space Pants. We feel like this sketch was tailor-made to become a meme. It didn't, but hey, they tried.
We'll have it by tomorrow, okay? I promise, all right? Can we go?
It begins with a group of gangsters meeting in a fancy restaurant to discuss an important money issue. Once the head gangster pulls out a gun, a ridiculous-looking Peter Dinklage appears on stage and begins doing the robot and singing a synth-pop tune about his funky space pants.
Look at my pants with the eyes in your face. My legs are covered in outer space.
What exactly is the joke here? That a serious mafia meeting was interrupted by such a ludicrous song and performer? That Peter Dinklage is wearing a funny wig and silly pants?
What is this?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is what's going on up there more interesting than what's going on right here? Kind of.
Either way, it's totally offbeat and unconventional. But then again, many SNL viewers love those types of sketches, so all the power to it. Number 8. Butt County Dance Party. Even the golden age of Saturday Night Live contained a fair share of wacky sketches. This surprisingly great episode from 1976, hosted by Psycho's Anthony Perkins, contained a sketch called The Butt County Dance Party.
How did you get down here today?
We drove down North Side Road via exit 13.
It sees students competing in a dance competition while a state trooper, played by Perkins, runs their names through a computer to check for outstanding warrants. This premise sounds ludicrous and confusing enough, but the sketch also contained premature cues, panicked improvisation from Dan Aykroyd, and random stock footage of car crashes.
That must be a break at the state prison, Sheriff.
Oh my God!
I'm sure that's a break at the state prison. We gotta run.
It was a total mess, but then again, this is live television. Messes are what we come for. Number 7. The NASA Potato Chip Sketch. Potato Chip may be an SNL cult favorite, but there's no denying that it was really, really weird. It stars Jason Sudeikis as a man interviewing for an astronaut position at NASA, and Will Forte as the man conducting the interview.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into the other room, and I'm gonna expect you to not touch any of those potato chips.
Your potato chips are safe in my presence.
I thank you, sir.
When Forte leaves the room, Sudeikis eats one of his potato chips, culminating in a protracted and annoying screaming match and a particularly nasty regurgitation.
Janelle, what would you say if I told you that that man, right there, is nothing but a common potato chip thief? Potato chip thief!
What?
The creative forces behind this sketch, including Sudeikis and Forte, recognize it as the strangest thing they've ever done, with Forte stating, quote, "Part of it is just bleary-eyed from being up all night." Yeah, we've all been there, and we've thought of much weirder stuff than this.
I was talking to the potato chip.
Number 6. Googly Eyes. This sketch boils down to one idea. What if we stuck silly googly eyes onto plants? And really, that's about all there is to it. So, you know, your mileage may vary.
Normally, plants don't have eyes, so it's hard for me to trust them, hence... Googly Eyes.
Christopher Walken, who single-handedly saves the sketch from complete and total failure, stars as a gardener who's afraid of his plants.
Ferns don't have pricklets like cactuses, but what if they all ganged up tried to choke you?
To feel in control and to assuage his fear, he sticks googly eyes onto them in the hopes of making them more humanoid. To the sketch's credit, the plants do look ridiculous and funny, and Walken sells it with all the heart and soul he can muster.
Now here's some grass I made. I don't go near it. I can't figure out how to get any googly eyes stuck on it.
Then again, Walken can sell pretty much anything. Number 5, debating the quality of Weezer. In this sketch starring guest host Matt Damon, he and Leslie Jones debate the relevance of Weezer. Damon loves their modern work. Jones thinks they peaked with Pinkerton.
I'm just a little confused because real Weezer fans know that they haven't had a good album since Pinkerton.
The following 4 minutes see them growing increasingly irritated with each other until Damon storms out of the house in frustration. And that's it.
Wait, look, can we all just agree that Weezer is the best band of all time? No. Yes!
There aren't really any jokes, barring a few silly insults. The entire sketch is literally just characters debating the relevance of Weezer. Not only is this an odd premise for a comedy sketch, but it would be totally lost on those unfamiliar with Weezer's music. Was it a promotion for their upcoming Black Album in Africa cover? Was it a writer airing their Weezer grievances? Who knows? Number 4, the Super Bass-O-Matic. The weirdest stories often come from real life. According to Dan Aykroyd, he once watched his aunt throw an entire bass into the blender, bones and all. The things people will do to experiment with food.
Here's how it works. Catch a bass, remove the hook, and drop the bass. That's the whole bass into the Super Bass-O-Matic 76.
A decade or so later, Dan adapted this experience into an SNL sketch that saw him blending a small bass into a nasty pink sludge. However bizarre the concept, it turned into a surprisingly funny segment thanks to Aykroyd's natural charisma.
We've got fish here fast and easy and ready to pour.
According to Doug Hill and Jeff Weingrad, writers of A Backstage History of Saturday Night Live, everyone in the writer's room was left speechless and open-mouthed when Aykroyd pitched the idea. We don't blame them.
Super Bass-O-Matic 76. You'll never have to scale, cut, or gut again. Order again. That's Pier 25, New York, New York.
Number 3, Diner Lobster. Originally written by episode host and former SNL writer John Mulaney and Weekend Update anchor Colin Jost in 2010, we don't know what was going through their heads when they thought of this.
I'll have the lobster. Excuse me?
It all starts as a funny bit of observational comedy, as Pete Davidson's character orders lobster from a diner, which his buddy finds sketchy.
Like, no one orders a lobster in a diner. The whole seafood section is there on the menu as a joke, man. I mean, seafood. The word seafood is in quotes.
I'm in the mood for lobster, okay? I won my lawsuit against Bumble for getting 0 matches, and I want to celebrate.
This could have made for a funny storyline on Seinfeld, but this is SNL we're talking about here.
Who am I? And why am I condemned to boil alive?
Of course, it would transition to a Les Miserables parody involving Broadway tunes, a giant ocean-themed barricade, and Kenan Thompson dressed as a lobster inside a giant water tank.
I mean, you can't eat the lobster now, man. They just sang Les Mis, bro.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm more of a Mean Girls guy.
It was certainly unexpected, and it was totally and hilariously surreal. Number 2, Laser Cats. Sometimes SNL likes to poke fun at itself. Laser Cats is a great example of this. This meta sketch sees Andy Samberg and Bill Hader pitching a ridiculous idea to Lorne Michaels. The idea is Laser Cats, a poorly produced film shot by Samberg and Hader that tells a post-apocalyptic story involving laser shooting cats.
A princess has been kidnapped. Robotron. Let's roll.
Naturally, it ends with a disappointed Lorne telling them to get out of his office. It's certainly a weird concept, and the fact that Samberg and Hader acknowledge its eccentricity doesn't make it any less peculiar.
No! So, what do you think?
Get out.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome.
We never thought we'd see laser shooting cats on Saturday Night Live, but such magic is what you get with the digital shorts. You know, I was surprised to see how many of these sketches were actually some of my favorites, because the first time I saw the debating the quality of Weezer sketch, I felt seen because I have had that exact argument so many times. It's super weird. Anyway, before we find out what our favorite weird SNL sketch is, let's check out some honorable mentions.
It's a deer crossing. I'm out of here.
I don't think they have to stop. And I said, a dainty little thing like you couldn't possibly finish off that pie by herself. But 8 hours later, you proved me wrong. There's that laugh I love.
Beautiful sunset in Malibu. You see? It's just like that.
Sure, I get it.
Okay, go for it.
It's almost not night anymore.
Oh my God.
Just turn the lamp off. Unplug it for Chris and Pete. The car's waiting downstairs.
Oh, that's right. The lamp, that little rascal. Oh, here it is. I found the cord. I just have to pull it out of the wall. Ah!
I got it, baby, 'cause I got to say, ooh-wee. What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh-wee.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. David S. Pumpkins. We still have no idea what David S. Pumpkins was all about. In this famous sketch, a couple visits a Tower of Terror-themed amusement park. While they are initially enthused by the scares, they soon grow confused with David S. Pumpkins, an eccentric man dressed in a pumpkin suit who dances to silly electronic music.
I'm David Pumpkins, and I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
Like the fictional couple, many viewers found the sketch confusing, although it was generally considered a puzzling success.
No, I'm just trying to wrap my head around David Pumpkins? I mean, are we supposed to know who that is?
Even Tom Hanks didn't quite get the sketch, and he tried to get out of it by suggesting it be moved to the next week's episode. Well, we're glad they didn't. Like Forrest Gump, we couldn't imagine anyone else in the role but Tom Hanks.
Why are you a part of this ride?
To do this.
Did you ever notice that the last sketch of the night is usually the most experimental, let's call it? It's probably because people fall asleep before they get to the end. Anyway, be sure to let us know in the comments what your favorite weird SNL sketch is, or come talk to me on Twitter or Instagram at Rebecca Brayton. Also, be sure to like and subscribe and watch this other video.